Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night. What is up, everybody? Tonight, we're going to have some fun. Not only do I have a couple of great whiskeys to taste through tonight, but I also have a few new bottles that we're going to taste through, including one that I've been trying to get my hands on for at least 2 months. It finally arrived today, so we'll crack that open tonight, get my first impressions, talk a bunch of different news, talk Beyonce, maybe a little bit. And we'll get into this crazy, amazing blind tasting that I have lined up tonight. So, yeah, welcome in. I am Jason C., your host. And, man, what else has been going on? So much has been going on. Just basically with, kind of catching up with Mash and Journey picks and planning the Bartow Blitz event. And, I don't know, just a bunch of other stuff going on. So, it's always nice to kind of take some time, relax, hang out with you guys on Wednesday nights. So with that said, what is going on? Let me see. Beyonce is not on stream tonight. I tried to get her, but she wanted $10 million for just 6 seconds of airtime. So couldn't afford it. So I said, sorry, Beyonce, I'm going to have to turn you down. So there you go. That's how it works. All right, let me say hi to some people in the chat. We got Brooks Reed, who was in here early. He said, Pingree 13 winning, calling it now. Hell yeah, Brooks. Had the Old Fangled Nada Bourbon a few years ago at Blonde Brothers in Galena. That 12-year MGP is unfairly good. Best MGP I've ever had. Yeah, man, I'm all about it, but I think this is my favorite to win tonight is the Pingree. We'll see how if that shakes out. The thing is that I was talking to a couple of guys, I think kind of late last week, and just kind of talking about some of the old favorites that we have. And we were talking about like the Belle Meade, like the old 12 years that they had, the old discoveries. And I was like, you know what, that could be a really cool blind tasting to do tonight. Just kind of going in and picking out some of these old favorites that I still even can't believe I still have some of these, and putting them head to head to see if my palate has changed a bit, if I'm looking for different things. I don't know. It should be pretty interesting. We got JG here. We got Outside the Star. The thumbnail's wild. Michael McDonald. God, that Blonde Brother's so good. That's right. Michael McDonald's had a pour of that. EJ is here. What's going on? Hope you and Lily are doing good. Let's see. Joey B is here. Cheers, everyone. It's a Master Journey Whiskey Run. That's right, Joey B. Look at Joey B with the new logo. Look at that. He's got a little font. He's got a little font action happening. Look at that in the bottom left. Joey B. Nice job, man. 96 Millie Man. Happy Wednesday. Early start to a birthday weekend. Oh, it's your birthday, huh? 96 Millie Man. Cheers. Everyone raises a glass to 96 Millie Man. We got Kim, may the Schwartz be with you, is here, along with her hubby, Mark, may the Schwartz be with you. Smoking Firewater here. Pingree will be hard to beat, in my opinion, but let's see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. William Wiley's here. We got EMC. What's going on? Butter. Chip A Lettuce here. Cheers all. We got, let's see. Tim Cornet is here. What's going on, Tim? Stephen Walt. What's going on, buddy? Bo's Wine Guy. Let's go Whiskey Wednesday, baby. That's right. Josh Fritz. What's going on, Fritzy? That's me. We got Michael Speakerman is in the house. Nice to see you as always. Jeff Perkins, Ben Chrisman. We got Nicholas is here. Don't sleep on B519, Butterscotch Bomb. That's why it's in here tonight, buddy. Everett Jarvis. What's going on, Flo Rada? Nice to see you, man. We got Isaac Camacho's here. Nice to see you, Isaac. KCD is here. Isaac, we're getting close to the drop of the Still Austins, man. Hope you're excited. Sandeep Chima is here. What's going on, Sandeep? We got James Lay. What's going on? Nathan Jurgensen is here. We got A-Brod in the house. Let's see. Dr. Sped. New Riff 8-year rye tonight. Green apple, yummy. That's pretty spot on. It is pretty green apple heavy for sure. Ben Drammond, what's going on, man? Outside the Star, Knob 12 in the Glen. We got the Knob 12 cast strength in the blind tonight. We'll see how it does. Let's see here. Bro, that Bozo Australia dancing chick in the thumbnail's killing me. Yeah, I thought you guys would like that. Hey, what time does the 9 p.m. live stream start? Oh, was I 30 seconds late? I'm sorry. Roger Reese is here. Sean Ortego is here. Top Jimmy in the house. We got Phil, It's Gone Awry in the house. Prozac is here. Bob Glass. Casey House. Corey Cobb. Whiskey Nose. What's going on, Marty Party? Nice to see you. We got Donald Rance here tonight. Damn, just popping in for a quick break at work. Cheers. Nice to see you, Donald. Don't work too hard. Dave Markowski's here. Black Bourbon Family, Jason and Brandy are in the house. What's going on, guys? Jason and Brandy, check that channel out. Two of the greatest people in the planet. Les Bramlett's here. Bo Fortune, Ben Robinson, and a bunch of other people I'm going to have to catch up with here. Smoking Firewater, see Gen X69. Cheers from Maryland. Nice to see you, Gen X69. Welcome in. And yeah, Kooky Cats is here too. Roscoe P. Coltrane. All right, a bunch of people. So yeah, we're diving right in tonight, guys. Oh wait, we got the Connoisseur Cigar. Eric is here. What's going on, Eric, man? So I dropped a review for this little gem today, the Origin Series High Wheat, and already in the comments, people were like, "You got to put it up against Weller 107." So let's do it now. Why not? This is what we do. All right. So I pulled a bottle of Weller 107, some antique. So we're gonna do a quick little, I guess, preview double bass, but when I do the double bass episode or triple bass episode of these, I'm going to put a few other weeders in it. Well, 2 more weeders, not a few, but it's 2 more at least, just to see how it holds up. What's up, people? Oh, we got Ben in the house, the Mash and Drum, Howard the Bagels. Dude, New York bagels, nothing like them. I love it. Thanks for grabbing those for me. Hope you guys are traveling safely, man. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you and Bonnie. All right, Kevin Zachary. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Checking in for my first visit, says Paul Bedijan or Bedijan. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Welcome to the madness on Wednesday night, a whiskey Wednesday night. Dan, this is a favorite against what I expect to be a future favorite, says Greg. Greg Ide. So we'll see, man. See how this goes. All right, so nose, I'm going to have to give it to the Weller here. The Weller on the nose has just a little bit more inherent sweetness, I think. That floral component is there with the Weller 107. But, yeah, heavy cinnamon. A little bit of that, at least in this bottle, a little bit of that Buffalo Trace cherry. We got our first super chat of the night. It is JG. What are some of your favorite cigars lately and old favorites? Honestly, JG, I haven't had a chance to smoke a cigar in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. But my old favorites are obviously Oliva might be my favorite brand. Constantly, always the Oliva V's. I mean, I love the stuff from Alec Bradley. I mean, the Bourbon Junkies kind of turned me on to that brand, the Kitsugis, the Magic Toast, some of those. I've had the pleasure of trying some really interesting, what were they called? Now the names are going to drive me nuts. I'll think of them JG, but those are kind of the ones that I've kind of latched onto. However, there are a few new ones that I've tried. I just can't think of the names right now. But I'll remember them, and I'll definitely shoot you a message because there are a few that I've tried recently that have been absolutely delicious. So, Joey B's here. Holy shit, 80 AC Whiskey's here. Can I send you a bottle of my weeded BK blend for that octuplet bass video? Yes, please do, Maddie. I would love to try that, man. Dude, anything you blend, I want it here. I want me to review it, tell you if it's really good or if it's shit. I will tell you. Most of the time, probably 100% of the time, it's going to be good. But just telling you. Love the Origin Bottle and Bond Weeder. Can't wait to try this new Origin Weeder. Cheech Artolino is here. Cheers from the cabin in the woods. What's going on, Cheech? Thanks for the super chat. And thanks to you, Mr. Cheech, for sending along one of the bottles we're going to be cracking open tonight. Jason Norris, man, but I plan to be here regularly. Everyone pronounces it like you, but it's Eid like read or feed without the R. All good, man. I got you, Greg. Eid. I got you, man. I love that description. That's pretty cool. Beyonce's thing isn't interesting. It's smart to not call it a rye, but focus on the malt and sherry finish. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. Padron. Yeah, how can I forget Padron, Roger Reese? That is definitely one of my favorites of all time as well. Let's see. Can you compare the new Remus Repeal Reserve versus Woodinville 8-year? As soon as I get the new Repeal Reserve, I will do that. All right. What's up, Michael Tobias? All right, so the nose, I mean, the nose is close. I'll say this. This Bardstown Wheater, high wheat, I should say. I mean, the more I go back to it, the sweeter it's getting, I think, as it opens up. In the beginning, it was very grain heavy. You got a lot of the wheat, got a lot of the corn. It was caramel. But now that kind of lemon zest, pastry, croissant, crunchy, like frosted flake type of sweetness is all kind of combining a little bit more now. And interestingly enough, for a 6-year product, it does have a good amount of depth to it. And I think that really is inherent from the low entry barrel proof that they go in, the low entry proof that they're entering the barrel at, which I think I remember reading was 108. So that definitely helps breaking down the sugars early on in the maturation process in the barrel, rather than putting it at 125. So a lot of the water makes all those different compounds in your barrel a little bit more soluble, and it's able to impart a little bit more sweetness in the whiskey. That's why low entry barrel proof is kind of I don't know if I'm going to call it a cheat code, but it's a really cool technique you can use to bring out more sweetness in your whiskey. Michter's does it, Wilderness Trail does it, Peerless does it, and everyone kind of lauded them for the amazing whiskeys they came out with at a younger age, I think because of that inherent sweetness. So I think there's a lot of pros and cons to it. The cons to it is that it's way more expensive to do low entry proof because it's more expensive. When you water down before you go into the barrel, you need a lot more barrels because you're going to have a lot more liquid to deal with. So that's where the cost comes in. Just a little, I don't know why I went on that tangent about low entry proof, but hey, if you guys didn't know, now you know. Oh man, I need a Biggie Smalls, like, if you know, now you know. I gotta get that propped up. All right, I've not tried the Babe Ruth Remus just because I don't think for $200 a 6-year-old, 7-year-old product is gonna be. I mean, if I get a sample of it, I will definitely do a review of it, but that's not one I'm running out to buy. All right. The most surprising thing about the high wheat from Bardstown is easily the spice that it has. There is a take a page from Booker's, Baker's, and distill to a lower proof. Yeah, that's true too. Have you ever tried Law's Whiskey 4-grain straight cask bourbon? Yeah, Gen X, I have. Those Law's releases have been pretty hit and miss for me. I try one, and then I'm just like, yeah, it's not my thing. It's way too grain forward. And then I'll try another one that maybe has a little bit of a finish on it, or it's been aged a little longer, and then I'll kind of dig that one. But more often than not, I kind of lean away from it. But again, 80 Laws isn't something that comes across, my sight line very often. I don't really see it on shelves, at least where I go. But I'll be in Colorado actually a bunch this year and next year. So I'll definitely seek it out and see if I could try some new expressions for sure. Let's see here. Let me put up this for a little bit. All right, let's get that going. All right, let's try the Weller now. I mean, Weller 107 Antique, 1 proof point higher than this. I wonder if that was a mentality of where they wanted to proof this when they brought this out. I know Bardstown has some very sneaky things they do that's kind of brilliant. Put it at 106, maybe not 107. There are some other products out there that are around 108, so maybe 106 might be the way to go. It's kind of how they make themselves stand out a little bit. Weller, to me, Weller 107, just like a Buffalo Trace would be, less spice, more sweetness. There are some baking spices here that I'm pulling out. I've always thought Weller 107 was pretty heavy on the cinnamon from my standpoint. but even that little bit of a even just one proof point higher, I think that offers a little bit of a nicer finish here. And generally the Wellers are 7, 8 years old ish, so maybe has a couple years on the high wheat. But man, if this high wheat thing could get a little bit more age, man, when you come off the Weller 107 and go back to this, you could really see how much more citrusy and fruit forward the high wheat is versus the Weller 107. The Weller 107 drinks more like a candy sweet. This is more of a fruit sweet to me, which is, it's just really going to depend on what you like. Now, the beauty of this bottle, this is only going to be $50. Now, Weller 107, even though here in the land of Weller in Ohio, when you get it for retail, it's around $50, $55, $60. Not far off from this. However, eventually you would hope that this is going to be a lot easier to find than a Weller 107, unless you live in Ohio. So I think it's actually a brilliant move by Bartow Bourbon Company, not only bringing out a high wheat, which is something that people tend to like, but also pricing it very aggressively at $50. So yeah, these two are not far off. It's just a different type of sweetness in the Weller 107 versus the high wheat. I think most people would probably prefer the Weller 107 because it's a little bit more candy sweet, maybe a little bit of that floral baking spice component coming through, but the origin is a little bit more citrusy, a little bit more pastry, and kind of like this. I don't know. It's got a sweetness to it. It's just a different sweetness. It's more of a fruit forward sweetness rather than a candy forward sweetness. If that makes sense. Paul Buttigieg, oh snap, you're an Ohio guy? I just moved from Columbus. Yeah, I moved to Columbus about in 2016. I moved here. So yeah, really nice year for BBC. One great limited release and look to another great addition to the core lineup. Yeah, I think both of these, by the way, looking at everything spicy, because he's all about the spice, that they both have actually nice finishes. But I don't know if probably in a blind, I would probably lean towards the 107 just because I think the age is inherent. You could kind of taste the age a little more. I think it's a little bit more integrated. But this high wheat, even though it's this good now and it's pretty close to the 107, man, if this hits about 7, 8 years old, this is going to be a crazy, crazy good bourbon. So there you go. All right. So let me put this one to the side. I'm going to bring in my next bottle here that I just got. And this is from Chattanooga, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So if any of you have seen this yet, this is, let me see, let me get this back here. Okay. This is the new Chattanooga Pinot Cask finish. So Pinot Noir cask, pretty dark. Now, if you guys don't know much about Chattanooga, they're kind of known for their high malt mash bills. So pretty chocolatey. It doesn't really ever get coffee forward for me, but chocolatey, kind of toasty, kind of like a slice of whole wheat toast, kind of smelling it from the toaster. But there's also some nice sweetness there. So when they couple it with certain finishes, I really do believe it works pretty well. So let's see here. This is a brand new product. This is 95 proof. They just released this recently, and it will be releasing in places where Chattanooga is available, apparently. So we're going to let that open up a little bit here before we dive in. But it's got a nice color to it. Check this out, guys. Look at that. It's got a nice little color to it. I mean, obviously, that's probably mostly coming from that Pinot Noir cask, but that's a good-looking whiskey right there. Hawk loves the malt. Yes, that is not true at all. He hates malt. Damn, I really can't wait on that Bardstown. Says Greg Eade. See, now I'm just saying Greg Eade now because I know how to say it. I'm just going to keep saying it, Greg Eade. All right. Mr. Eade. So yeah, this is one of those finishes where we have let's see. So they use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different mash bills, toasted and charred oak barrels, non-chill filtered, 6 months for the finishing time. So 6 months in that Pinot Noir barrel. And the finish is from a Russian River Pinot Noir barrel. The batch size was only 8 to 10 barrels, so probably not a bunch of these. And the age says greater than 4 years. So there you go. Oh, I get that maltiness, and I'm kind of getting the fruitiness too. So let me hit it down here. To finally going to stop by, definitely going to stop by Chattanooga and Lynchburg on the way to Bardstown at the end of September. Hell yeah, man. ADHD Whiskey says, cheers, everyone. Sorry, just listening in while playing volleyball with my kiddos at the park. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Spike it, Maddie. That's right, guys. If you are hanging out, please hit the like button while you're chilling out. I appreciate it. I know it's a chore to put your finger down there or your mouse and you click the little like button. So if you could, please do. Definitely helps out the channel as we kind of steam into the end of the year here, which is pretty crazy. We're almost all the way through August here, being August 21st. I mean, September, October, November, December. I mean, 4 months more of 2024. So going to be a fun end of the year with all the different releases coming out. It got me thinking, what's going to be the one release that could possibly take out Russell's Reserve 15 for Bourbon of the Year? There wasn't many. And in fact, maybe there's a couple of them that haven't come out yet. So that kind of gets us thinking about birthday bourbon. The Old Forester birthday bourbon this year is supposed to be 12 years old, 107 proof. You know, I would not put money on birthday bourbon being better than Russell's 15. In fact, I probably wouldn't put birthday bourbon, bet on it to beat a lot of things. Birthday bourbon the last several years just has not been anything that I've been ever really impressed with. But I'm hopeful this year. It's a little bit of a higher proof. Nice 12-year age statement. We'll see what happens. If Jack Daniel's does release their 14-year, that could be the one release that does it. Russell's 15, Jack 14. We'll see how that is. I keep hearing amazing things about the Discovery number 12, the next Discovery that's going to be coming out. High-age whiskeys, really good distilleries that they're sourcing from. That could be a banger as well. I'm not sure if it'll have the age or the depth to compete with Russell's 15, but that could be another great one. I mean, you also have, obviously, you have the B-Tax and all those that release. Four Roses, the Four Roses limited edition that could come out. Maybe the Founders really. Let's see here. Jay, you're doing an advent calendar again. I am doing an advent calendar again. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently this year. Instead of my mom and my girlfriend kind of teaming up and pouring different blind samples, I'm actually going to have my patrons send me blind samples so I can see what I would pay. So it'll still be kind of the what would I pay value model that I used last year, but also doing it with the completely blind samples that I don't know what I'm getting sent. So it should be a lot of fun this year. And yeah, that's going to happen again. So JD14 is going to bang for sure. We'll see. Birthday bourbon won't be a top 10. I mean, that's always usually my inclination, but we'll see. I made the mistake. Oh, yeah, we have the Camp Nelson B coming out from Wild Turkey and the Single Rick House as well. So 2 more big releases from Wild Turkey that'll hit that. And I do believe the Jimmy Russell commemorative edition bottle is going to be releasing as well. And that's going to be a very, very, very large release. As far as what I've heard, it's going to be the largest kind of limited edition release that Wild Turkey has ever done. There's going to be a ton of that one out there. But I think it's just going to be like an 8-year 101 or something like that. Nothing super crazy. Silent Todd says, I made the mistake at the bar of getting a pour of George T. Stagg and birthday bourbon. No comparison. Yeah, exactly. Is there a new Jack Daniel's Coy Hill coming? Yes, we do have a new Coy Hill coming as well. We'll see when that drops. I should be getting a sample of that from Brown-Forman or from Jack Daniel's, I should say. They usually send me a lot of their samples, so I'm looking forward to trying that. Can I bring you a sample of the Bardstown Blitz for your advent calendar? Jay, well, you know what? Yeah, if you're going to do that, let me, I'm going to make an online form so you guys could so I know who's sending me what, and you can pick a day. So I'll get that going. Oh my God, yes, the next Parker's Heritage. So the next Parker's Heritage, I am super interested in. I don't know if everybody else will be interested in it, but it's going to be a malt whiskey finished in recharred cognac casks. So a malt whiskey finished in recharred cognac casks. And I want to say it's 14 years old. I think I have like a 14-year age statement on it. You guys in the chat could correct me based on, based on the labels that we've seen. But that thing could be a dark horse, just banger of a whiskey. But I'm not sure how crazy people will go for it, being it's a malt whiskey rather than a straight up bourbon. Pocket play that. I'm never gonna get it. Yeah, give me that 8-year 101. Maker's Mark Cellar Age 2024 is what I'm looking forward to. That's true. We haven't seen the next the next Cellar Age yet, which is supposed to. They said last year was going to be an annual release. We haven't seen the 2024 yet. Did you get the Murray Hill Special 4? Maybe I did. We'll see. Okay. Before we get into this, let's get into some news stories because, this is what we do. I got to keep you guys informed on what's going on in the whiskey biz. Obviously, we already talked about this, but if you guys haven't heard yet about what we tasted just now, Bartow Bourbon Company just yesterday expanded its house distilled Origin series. That's what it claims to be the first 39% wheat mashable bourbon available on the market. It's dubbed the High Wheat, and it's a permanent addition to Bartow Bourbon Company's portfolio. Aged 6 years, bottled 106 proof, mash bill of 53% corn, 39% wheat, and 8% malted barley. Let's see. The release was overseen by head distiller Nick Smith with a helping hand from master distiller Steve Nally, considered the Wheat King for all his great years that he spent at Maker's Mark. So as you guys know, $50 should be a great addition to the Origin series. So, and let's talk about it. Here it comes. There she is, Beyonce. I can't even keep up with all her nicknames. Queen B, I think, is the only thing I know. But she officially unveiled her Sir Davis rye whiskey, named for her moonshining grandfather. So that's where the name Sir Davis comes from. There's the bottle that's connected to Miss Beyonce Carter Knowles. Officially announced the release. The venture is a collaboration between the artist and Moet Hennessy, and is named after Beyonce's paternal great-grandfather, Davis Hogue, who was a farmer and a moonshiner during Prohibition. Hogue stashed bottles of whiskey in the empty knots of cedar trees for his friends and family to enjoy, according to the brand. Now, according to Sir Davis, the project was also inspired by Beyonce's passion for Japanese whiskey, and the brand describes this expression as reminiscent of Japanese and Scotch whiskeys while retaining the robust and deep flavors typical of a classic American rye. It's not all talk either. Sir Davis tapped Dr. Bill Lumsden, the renowned master distiller known for his work on Scotch brands like Glenmorangie and Ardbeg, to lead the project. Now, the mash bill here is 51% rye and 49% malted barley, unusually high in barley content, and finished in sherry casks. This is bottled at 44% ABV, so only 88 proof. It's going to retail for about $90, and it's available for pre-order now via the Sir Davis website. It will be available across the U.S. as well in select airports and stores in London, Paris, and Tokyo. Sir Davis is distilled by MGP in Indiana and finished, blended, and bottled in Beyonce's home state of Texas. The brand is headquartered out of Houston, her home city, and the label will be filed with the TTB and blah, 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 blah. So there you go. Tasting notes. It looks like rich and buttery toffee, followed by an array of spices with cinnamon, clove, classic rye, soft malty biscuity notes intertwined with a vibrant citrus top note. All right. So let's talk about this a little bit. When it comes to celebrity whiskeys, I do feel like, folks like me and bourbon and whiskey enthusiasts, we're quick to jump on this because we probably already, inherently are going to hate it. But you always have to remember what about these celebrity whiskeys. Most of them, probably 99% of them, are really not made for us. They're not made for the whiskey enthusiast. They're made for Beyonce's friends, family, the beginners, fans of Beyonce who probably have never drank whiskey in their life, probably a good amount of them. So to make something smooth and easy like that. Now, it did kind of confuse me that it was a rye, but done in the Japanese Scotch whiskey style with, maybe because it has the high malted barley. So I think that part is a little bit misleading. Then you have the sherry finish on top of it with a low proof. I think this thing is just going to be very sweet, easy, maybe a little spicy because of that rye. But you have to remember, it's not really made for us. So, but the one thing I will say that I hate about this bottle is, now I didn't really take a deep dive into the website yet, but the thing that annoyed me the most is I opened up the website and it said the future of whiskey. And that's the same bullshit that Blue Run did, like back when Blue Run launched, saying it was the future of whiskey. If you're going to say you're the future of whiskey, you better be doing something really different, because there's nothing futuristic about it. So, I mean, whatever. There's going to be a lot of people that buy that shit. I pre-ordered a bottle, just to be completely honest. I'm going to review it just because I actually really do enjoy MGP, and I actually really do enjoy that mash bill. However, I mean, I don't have high hopes for it, but I think it's something that people will maybe want to hear about. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, to say it's the future of whiskey, it's not the future of whiskey. MGP, to say like it's the future of whiskey, and then it's like MGP distilled this mash bill, which it's probably a mash bill they've been distilling for ages. It's not the future. It's literally the past. So again, you know, celebrity whiskeys are going to come out with celebrity whiskeys. Again, they are not made for us. So if you want to shit on it, that's fine. But you have to remember, it's not made for us. However, shit on the marketing all you want, because a lot of the marketing that comes along with these bottles, for people that don't know whiskey, it drives me nuts. So, and believe me, I will be taking a much deeper dive into the marketing ploys of, you know, it's a nice little story. I guess whether it's true or not, we don't know. It could very well could be. I don't see why Beyonce would have a reason to lie. I mean, maybe just to sell bottles, maybe to make it a little bit more authentic. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it is. But yes, I will be taking a deep dive into that website before I review it, because if there's other shit like the future of whiskey on there, I'm going to rip it apart. So, yeah, another Goosey Celeb whiskey, whatever. The Lord's work, sir. Yeah, devil's cut. Yeah, I mean, at least she isn't sober like Stapleton. Oh man, I heard a couple stories about the Stapleton whiskey. That Stapleton was like, yeah, I don't really drink, but thought it would just be cool to have my name on a bottle. I don't know, dude. And then but there's pictures of him in the Rick House, like smelling it, not really tasting it. So, guys, a lot of BS out there in whiskey, unfortunately. You know, finding those authentic stories that actually mean something, that actually connect you to a story. I think that's the part where people miss, especially nowadays. They want to make a quick buck on the popularity of whiskey, but they don't make the connection to the drinker. The connection here in this case is Beyonce to her fans and all of her family and friends, which is fine. I mean, you know, she has $1 gazillion already, but she wants to make some more money. Obviously, Jay-Z is in the spirits business as well, so it's probably just another business to get into on the Beyonce side. And I don't know. We'll see what the reaction is when it starts hitting markets. So, all right, next up, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. This is the birthday bourbon. That's right, there it is, coming out of the box. So, if you guys haven't yet, the time to join the birthday bourbon lottery is here. Now, this is the coveted 2024 birthday bourbon. So last week, Old Forester announced the 2024 return of its rarest and most coveted expression, birthday bourbon. Celebrates the old birthday of founder George Garvin Brown. Now, the 2024 release features a 12-year age statement and clocks in at 107 proof. The brand shared that Master Distiller Emeritus Chris Morris, Master Taster Melissa Rift, and Assistant Master Distiller Caleb Trigo collaborated on the project. The bourbon was pulled from 209 barrels. Old Forester Birthday Bourbon is extremely rare and hard to get your hands on. Those interested in snagging a bottle may enter the online sweepstakes that runs from Thursday through next Wednesday. Lucky winners will have to travel to Louisville and pick up their bottle at the distillery between September 5th and December 14th. Each customer is limited to purchasing one bottle, and the bourbon hosts a suggested retail price of $129.99. So, if you guys have not entered yet, I think based on the math here, because this was literally announced the day after my live stream last Wednesday. So if it said Thursday to Wednesday, then this might be the last day. So if you haven't entered yet, feel free to go on Old Forester and get your entry in. So you can get that lovely email that says, sorry, you were not selected for birthday bourbon like I get every single year. So there you go. Let's go to the next one. So quick hit on this one. Blood Oath Trilogy is going to be releasing. I don't know. This is one of those sneaky releases that kind of come out, but not a lot of people talk about. It's basically a trilogy of the bourbons that releases once every 3 years. And this is coming next month. So Lux Row announced the release of the 3rd edition of its Blood Oath Trilogy. This will contain Blood Oath Pack 7s, 8, and 9 in a trilogy with suggested retail price of $800. Only 1,400 sets are available, and the bourbons will begin shipping in September. So just to let you know, in case anybody wants one of those. I never understood the price point for that because the bottles themselves are 120, 130. So where does that price point come in? 130, 130, 130. So that should roughly be about $400. That box can't cost another $300. So where's that pricing coming from? Just because it's the fancy trilogy box? I don't know. I understand. I really think it's cool that they released a trilogy like that. If you've never been able to get the packs on their singular releases, they released a trilogy set, but they're overcharging for it, in my opinion. I mean, it's not really my opinion. It's fact. It's being overcharged a lot. And I think that kind of ruins it because you want people to get access to it. That's a pretty steep price on those. So I am not into it. Oh, it already says it's closed. Oh, that sucks. Well, hope you guys got in. It costs more because it's the future of whiskey. Oh, the Old Forester sweep is closed. All right, so it is closed. Well, if any of you guys entered, good luck to you. All right. What else do we got here? Oh, one I'm very excited about. Michter's. Michter's is re-releasing their toasted bourbon, which is going to be the first time that it's released. Well, this is after 10 years. It's they're celebrating 10 years of toasted bourbon with this latest release. So this is the return of the U.S. toasted barrel finished bourbon, first introduced in 2014, and it was last released in 2021. Now, the bottle is slated to hit shelves in September at a suggested retail price of $110. Marks the return of an iconic expression that single-handedly spawned a new whiskey subcategory. That's true. You can't argue it. When it comes to toasted whiskey, Michter's is the one that started it all. They really, really did. 10 years ago, after a good deal of research and experimentation, we released the first toasted barrel whiskey, Michter's US 1 Toasted Barrel Finished Bourbon. Michter's president, Joseph Magliocco, remarked in a news release. In the decade since its debut, Michter's inaugural toasted bourbon has garnered a rated score of 83, comparatively low to other celebrated bottlings in the distiller's catalog, though still a healthy step up from the competition. So that's pretty interesting that in the press release, they kind of say, it's never really performed as well as other stuff, but people seem to love it. So, but toasted was kind of like the new thing when it came out. Now, you could argue, like other parts of whiskey history and whiskey lore, that you have, somebody did do it first, but then you have somebody that just marketed it better and just did it better than the person before then. We don't really know that, but we just know that Michter's was kind of the first one to kind of mass market it, make it super popular, and then everybody else kind of followed with their own toasted expressions after that. I mean, it's still happening. Elijah Craig just released their Elijah Craig Rye toasted just this month. So it's still happening. We're still seeing toasted expressions drop. So I was not a fan of the toasted sour mash at all. A quick note here, Penelope Valencia is making a return. This is the Penelope bourbon that is finished in Vino de Naranja casks. And just if anybody wants to know if this is good or not, my mom highly approves this bottle. She loves it. So if you need a review of it right now, then my mom. You could ask Mary if she ask my mom Mary how much she loves Valencia. So there you go. And I think we're all caught up. We talked about Remus last week. We talked about the Four Roses. Man, I'm on the hunt for this when it drops. I can't wait for that bottle. And I think we're all caught up. All right. Let me those are 750s, right? That price is insane. Yeah, they're 750s. Yep. Boxes made from the blood of virgins, says JG. Patrick Graylak is here. Thanks to you, Jason, for evaluating our passion for bourbon and always looking out for your followers with all the gimmicks coming out. Absolutely, man. You got to be honest about that. Now we're talking, says Matt's Palace. That Michter's like 90-something proof, right? Yeah, it's usually around that 90-something proof point. Usually pretty low. But remember, Michter's is, everyone always, forgets that Michter's is going in the barrel at like 103 or 104, a very, very low entry proof. So even at cast strength, their stuff isn't going to be like tonight's blind. We have the Michter's barrel strength, and this is 106.8 proof at barrel strength. It just goes to show you when you go into that barrel at a much lower proof, it's going to be pretty low what you get out. If you see anything above 110 from Michter's, it's pretty rare. So there you go. Can't wait to get that disappointing email. Yeah, I'll be right with you, David, for sure. Oh my goodness, we got a celebrity in the house. It is Fancy freaking Franchi. Hope to get a toasted bourbon when it releases. I think you'll get one, Maureen. Beyonce went from independent woman to independent bottler. That's very true. That is very true. Friggin' Beyonce. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what. Well, I ordered one, and I was like hating myself for even ordering it like this week. I was like, oh, I'm really gonna order this Sir Davis bottle. I guess I was getting messages like people were like, hey, you gonna get that Beyonce bottle and review it? I'm like, do I have to? They're like, that would be hilarious. So I'm like, okay, I'll review it. So there you go. Hard pass on Valencia, says woof, says Greg Ead. Not a fan. Orangina flavored. To be honest, the Valencia doesn't really have a super harsh. It's not like an overfinished whiskey. The Valencia, the Vino de Naranja, it's very subtle, to say the least. So, Jack 14, let's go. What causes bourbon to go into the barrel? What causes bourbon to go into the barrel that low of proof? Mason Reed, they're literally watering it down before it goes into the barrel. So instead of going in, so generally when you come off the still, you can't be higher than 160 proof. It's one of the cardinal rules of bourbon. You can't distill it higher than 160, and you can't go in the barrel any higher than 125. You can go lower, but you can't go higher. So Heaven Hill is a great example. Heaven Hill pretty much does everything at 125 proof going in the barrel. That's what a lot of distillers do. They kind of go in at that super high proof point. That's why you'll see Heaven Hill expressions get into the 130s. And even like Jack Daniels, they go into the barrel 125. Those crazy, crazy hot rick houses, they'll spike up the proof, and you'll get proofs into the 150s. When you proof it down beforehand, you're adding all the water to the distillate before it goes in the barrel. That's when, all those numbers can really fluctuate. Maybe you should try Beyonce's whiskey with a hot dog straw. It might make it better. M&J Sagamore Vino is awesome. Yes, it is. I feel bad now that I know Mary loves Valencia. I hope she forgives me. I drink some with her despite my opinion. You're good, Greg. All right, let's dive into this Chattanooga. The nose on it's actually pretty fantastic. It's very, very fruity. Raspberries. That wine note is there, but it's not, it doesn't give you kind of like that tannic. Sometimes you get those wine finishes and it just smells too grapey. This isn't really doing that. I think the high malt holds up nicely. Do you think Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend is worth the cost? Yeah, that's the thing, Matt Himes. Based on what I tasted 2 weeks ago with Nancy Fraley, there could be some really amazing gems in there. The problem is that you're kind of a, you just pretty much have to be lucky with what your store gets in the batch. I always say, go on the Joseph Magnet website, literally go in the Google machine. Go in the Google machine and Google Joseph Magnet. So go into the store, look at the batch number. If it says batch 3033, what did she say? They're up to like 323 now. Whatever that number is. Hopefully she has tasting notes up of it. So, but Google Joseph Magnus batch 310, whatever it is. If the tasting notes pop up in those specific batches that she releases, read the tasting notes. That's going to be your best guide to whether you want to spend that money on it or not. Because as you saw 2 weeks ago, they are extremely different from batch to batch to batch. Everybody wants the consistency. Everybody wants, they'll get one. Like I got the Darth Vader one, and it's probably the best batch of all time. However, I mean, arguably, but you go to the store and you find another one and you're hoping it tastes the same, and it's completely different. I mean, we were tasting coconut in some of them. We were tasting just straight up sherry in some of them. We were getting into blueberries on one of them. It was all over the place. Just read the tasting notes and use that as your guide before you buy Joseph Magnus if you can. That's the best advice I can give you, because if one says it's like a spice cabinet, there's a lot of spice, and there's rye spice, and there's it tastes like basil and oregano and all this crazy stuff that you're not going to like. You're going to know not to spend spend the money on that bottle. And Nancy Fraley's tasting notes are extremely detailed, so that should be able to guide you. So she's up to oh my God, 350s in your store. I don't think she's that far ahead with the tasting notes, unfortunately. She's only up to 2,000 to 212. Honestly, you could hit her up on Facebook Messenger, Instagram. She will answer you if you have a question. She's good like that. It may not be right away, but you can always. Her door is always open. She likes to talk about it. Likes to figure out what whiskeys are out there, what you're finding, and if she can guide you with tasting notes that she remembers, she will tell you. So that's really the best thing I could tell you. Let's see here. I have a Joseph Magnus batch 315, and I have been pleasantly surprised with how good it is. Yeah, one of the later batches that I really loved a couple weeks ago. So, all right. It's been at 212 for months. Oh, has it really? Oh, that's a shame. I mean, she was traveling for quite a bit. All right, let's give this a try. Cheers, guys. Here we go. Oh, holy shit, that's good. Oh, interesting. Man, the front of the palate is pure chocolate-covered raspberries. Chocolate, raspberry. There's a breadiness from the malt. But then all of a sudden, like what hit me was the finish of it, which actually finished a little bit like a tannic wine, but also gave me like that burnt toast note. It literally tastes like burnt toast on the back end of this. That's crazy. It takes a second, but then all of a sudden you get this little burst of like a burnt butter toast on the back end of it. But the front of the palate is all sweet, chocolate, raspberry. That maltiness is there. Nice texture for a 95 proofer. Again, I think Chattanooga is just one of those brands that not enough people are talking about the stuff they're making. Maybe because it is a high malt and just people aren't really used to that still. They still want that Kentucky bourbon, the sweetness. But I mean, I love this high malt. These mash bills that they create just work so well together. Great balance, chocolatey, really pretty flavorful. Good textures on here with that high malt. I do like their higher proof stuff a little better. Just being liking high proof whiskey in general. But 95 proof here for this isn't bad. It's sweet enough to keep it interesting, but it's also got enough texture on it to keep people even more interested. So you can, but it's more. Let's see. The Magnus cigar I had was good, just not something I like to go often. Doesn't really taste like a bourbon, honestly. The same way Penelope Rio is more like a cocktail. I could see that, Dylan, depending on the batch that you're sipping. Penelope Rio does not taste like bourbon to me at all. I mean, that's just pure. That's like just drinking candy. I don't really see that as a bourbon. I do see that as kind of a liquid cocktail. I mean, it's still pretty good stuff. I think the issue with Chattanooga is the limited distribution. Yeah, absolutely. That's part of it. We're lucky here in Ohio. We have Chattanooga sitting on the shelf. However, we don't really get these limited editions very often. They kind of keep it mostly contained within Chattanooga. But I think if more people tried some of this stuff, I think they'd really be impressed with it. I do wish, however, some of these releases would get, I mean, I feel like it has said greater than 4 years for a long time. Like, where's the 8-year, the 9-year, the 10-year stuff? That's what I want to see in bigger circulation. I just don't know how much of that they have. I got to call Tim Pearson over at Chattanooga and pick his brain, see what's going on there. All right, the whiskey I'm excited to try tonight, and again, somewhere in a cabin, he said, in the woods, is Cheech. Cheech found me. There it is, the Murray Hill special release, folks. I am pumped. Here, oh baby, there it is. This is the release that Nancy Fraley herself was talking about a couple weeks ago. And I said, no matter what I do, no matter where I go, I could not find one of these. And then Cheech, my hero, he says, hey, my store just got a case of them. Do you want one? I said, yes, please. So here it is. All right. Murray Hill Club special release, blended bourbon whiskey, finished in Calvados casks. Batch 4. Now, Calvados, from what I remember, is an apple brandy, correct? Calvados is an apple brandy. I've heard nothing but ridiculously good things about this batch, so I'm going in with a high expectation here. So we'll see how this goes. How much was it? This was about $200. It was about $200, just like a friggin' cigar blend. Yes, French apple brandy. There you go. Heavy Calvados finish too. Best of them all. James Lace is a top 5 for him this year. Damn, and he drinks a lot of good whiskey. Real quick, let me Murray Hill Club release 4. I'm unprepared. I should have had this pulled up already. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. All right. So it has a full page on the website. Let's get the deets here. Nope. All right. Artfully blended 8 and 17-year-old bourbons distilled from 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. That is the MGP, famous 21% mash bill. And finished for 4 months in hand-selected fresh Calvados casks imported from the lower Normandy region of France. Official tasting notes from Nancy Fraley. I don't think I want to go into this just yet. Okay. But those are the stats. As far as proof goes, this is 111 proof. So nice little proof point on this. All right. I mean, look how dark this sucker is too. Look at that. Can't even see through that shit. All right. Hey, all, smash the like button for our man Jason C. Thank you so much. It's one of my faves this year as well. Says Connoisseur Cigar Eric. Connoisseur Cigar Eric. I mean, I'm imagining you probably have some good cigar pairings with this. All right, let's go to the nose here. Oh, shit. MSRP for this. I mean, I paid about $200. I think that's pretty much close to the MSRP. So, wow. I mean, I definitely get the apple, but this isn't like a younger bourbon where you get like the Granny Smith apple. This is like apples coated in like dark molasses, Luxardo cherry syrup. Oh, holy shit. This thing is rich and it's dense. And this isn't even really opened up yet. Man, could this make a top 10 this year? It might. Haters will say it's food coloring. Yeah, they might. I don't think people realize how dark some of those Calvados casks can get. So, people don't know what they don't see. You know what I mean? So, stewed apple coated and dense caramel with pecans. Oh, I could see the pecan wise guy stew for sure. I could definitely see that. There's also that inherent like orange note that I get from that 21% rye mash bill. However, this is like, it's like it's like you put a bunch of orange peel on like a barbecue, soaked it with the apples and the molasses. Pecans is definitely on point. A little bit of like a pecan pie kind of vibe going on. Man, the nose is intense. So I have high hopes for the palate. Here we go. Holy shit, that's good. Holy shit. The finish is pure apple pie. Just apples for days. But the front of the palate has got all this other shit going on. I got to break this down here. Compare it to the cigar blend. Jacob Pours, which one? Just a random cigar blend? Yeah, the label alone on this is pretty sweet. I'm trying to see if it's... Was there a price listed here? I don't think so. Nope. It gets 10 shits. I told you that thing's insane. This one is more cigar blend than cigar blend. Anyone. Okay. SRP $199. There you go. Jesus. It's so dense and rich. It doesn't now. I'll say this: it doesn't have the longest finish in the world. It's actually. Oh well, maybe I take that back. It's more of a sweeter finish than like a spicy finish. I think there's just so much sweetness to it. It's hard to. It's getting a little bit harder for that spice to kind of break through. But to me, on the palate, I mean, pecans, roasted chestnuts, that dark cherry I'm getting from the Luxardo syrup. But then the apple, that apple note on the very, very back end of it is crazy. It is straight up like a burnt apple pie drizzled with a little chocolate. This is number 4. Yeah, Greg Eid. Yeah, you're spot on right there. When I'm doing this, this is when you try really good. When my grandmother used to cook, and she's like, "Oh my god, the sauce is so good." This is when you know I really like it. Or if I just say that's stupid good, because I have no other superlative to give it, then it's stupid good. Let me check the laser code. I'm only kidding. I'm not checking the fucking laser code. Man, this thing keeps evolving too. Every time I go back to it, something a little bit different kind of comes to the forefront here. Wow. I mean, it's so fruit forward, but it's also really dark at the same time. It gives you that really rich molasses note again into like the whatchamacallit, the pecan pie. But then all these like bursts of like really dark fruits come in. You can make a case for like honey coated figs, cherry, like Luxardo cherry syrup, chocolate, like a raisin. I mean, this thing is crazy. But then all of a sudden it's like, all right, you're enjoying the dark fruit and the molasses and the pecan pie. Now we're just going to give you apples. We're going to give you an apple pie on the back end, a burnt apple pie. I'm going to keep my eyes out for a bottle since I can't get Russell Reserve 15. I heard because of laser code issues apparently first. Dylan, that's pretty funny. Give it a few to open up, and the vanilla and peaches will hit the front palate. And it'll transition to the darker tones. I could see that. Yeah, it just says batch 4. So if anyone's on the hunt for this, so obviously the regular label is one of the more like, dark gray, almost black labels with the gold writing. This is more of a blue tone, as you can see. Now, if you look here on the side, there's what you're looking for. You're looking for that batch number 4. That batch number 4 is what you want to look for if you guys want to try this or find this one. You sold me. I'm going to have to order this bottle for my birthday next month. So Jacob Pours, super dark. Guys, I'm telling you, this thing is, I would not steer you wrong. This is a flavor monster. Somebody asked me in the chat, is there anything? Oh, Fig Newton. Yeah, fig. I said honey. I said kind of like dark honey coated figs. Even like a dark, like super dark maple syrup and figs a little bit too. But yeah, I can see what you were saying, James. A little bit of the apricot coming through. This thing is all over the place. It is, depending on what your palate is sensitive to. I'm probably only giving the notes that my palate is sensitive to. Once this opens up, it probably can get a little bit further. I got to really like dive into this. But I'm just saying, like, if you're sensitive to certain things on your palate, this thing could be an absolute, just a treasure trove of different flavors for you to find. This thing is crazy. That's the best part of it. It's the ever evolving pour. How would you compare it to a 4-gate Kelvin collab? I don't think I've tried a Kelvin collab ever that's been this dark. Let's see. Doug Green says, I got nothing. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it, man. Regular Murray Hill Club. I wish I actually had a regular Murray Hill Club. I don't even know what I would equate this to. So I have like this. The one thing I can think of that's like popping in my mind that actually makes sense is I have this like 15 or 16-year-old barrel-proof apple brandy that's in my whiskey room, or my bunker, I should say, that has these super rich dark flavors. Obviously, it's more apple forward because there's nothing else in between, and it's not, bourbon per se. But the richness of that reminds me of this quite a bit. I'm just looking around, guys. What does this remind me of? I feel like it does remind me of something. Man. And I'll say this again, not the longest finish in the world. The finish kind of falls. If this had a longer finish, this could be a top 5 whiskey for me this year. It could be a top 10 for sure. But if this just had a little bit of a longer finish, maybe it would. But I feel like the Calvados really, and that those sugary sweet flavors really kind of take over on the back end of this. Man, this thing is a beast. Yeah, not Crown Royal Apple. Wow. Yeah, Nancy Fraley was not kidding. She said, when you try it, I'm going to have to let her know, because she said if I ever get a bottle of it to let her know and tell her what I thought of it. This thing is ridiculous. Oh, man, what is that smell I'm getting now? Oh, man, just a beautiful oak char, but super, super sweet oak, that apple and cinnamon note. Early barrel seagrass. Yeah, I could see that a little bit. ADHD Matt Manis, Nulu was on an apple brandy MGP beer, but not near the same age. Oh, that'd actually be kind of a cool comparison too. This thing's all over. I'm just going to let this sit. I'm actually going to pour a little bit more. Let this sit a little bit. So it has like the dense and the darkness of like a Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, but without all the heats and the proof and the burn from it being like 155 proof. But instead of just being like pure maple syrup, bananas Foster like Jack Daniel's is, this comes in with more of like a molasses, apple pie, dark fruit, bright fruit type of experience, if that makes sense. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like if Coy Hill was finished in like a Calvados cask, I would figure it would taste something like this, but obviously less proofy, or more proofy on the Jack Daniel's side. So, damn. Old Elk. No, this is far superior to the Old Elk Cognac cask. I wouldn't even put the Old Elk Cognac cask in the same conversation as this. That's not fair to this bottle. Yeah. I think that's the best way I could describe it, is like one of those, if you took a Coy Hill and was able to finish it, but without all the proof, that's kind of what you get here. It's very rich. It's very dense. It's extremely syrupy sweet, but without getting too over the top. The only knock I could give this, I wish the finish was a little bit longer on this, but the finish it has is straight like burnt apple pie to me. That's delicious, man. I'm so glad he got this for me and I found it. Oh my gosh. Man, the end of the year, bourbons of the year is getting dicey. It's getting close. It is getting close. Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah, look at the again, look at the color on this baby. Woo. There it is. Poor Cam. Gotta love it. It's good stuff. Crushable too. Glad I backed it up. Yeah, you could definitely crush that bottle. I mean, man, I might try to find a backup of that. I like it that much. So good luck. If you guys have never found that bottle yet, be on the lookout. It's that good. I don't know if it says a bottle count on this one, to be honest. I'll see if maybe Nancy will grace us with our. Okay, well let's read her stuff. Apple strudel, totally. Old-fashioned New England apple molasses. I don't know what that is, but I could see that. That sounds about right. Apple molasses for sure. Roasted chestnuts. I actually said chestnut. Poached pears and ruby red port. Okay. Star anise, which is that's kind of a little bit of a licoricey type of spice. Apple blossom honey. I did say honey. Brown butter with cinnamon. Roasted coffee beans. I could see a little bit of a coffee bean in there for sure, but not. It's very faint. Aged balsamic vinegar. I could see that. Citron peels. That's what I was trying to think of. So she wrote citron peels here. That's what I was talking about, like those really like super potent orange peels that almost are kind of baked or fried, and they've just been like put over like a flame, so you get all the oils. That thing's crazy. So sorry if I just made that impossible to get for folks, but good luck. Happy hunting. And if you find that bottle, it's going to be well worth your time. Now I want bourbon barrel aged balsamic for my salads. Nathan, just pour that Joseph Magnus on your salad. That's all you need to do. Just pour that shit right on it. It's sitting on shelves in many places in Michigan. Are you serious, Jeremy? It's got to be the $200 price point. And I don't know if people know what they're looking at, to be honest. Nathan Jurgensen says it's healthy. Okay. It's healthy. Speaking of dark whiskeys, to all the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club members, dropping this Friday. You talk about dark. This is our Mash and Journey Jack Daniel's single barrel pick. The single barrel proof rye that was selected back at the end of the year last year. This is the second bottle that is released. It comes in at a healthy 133 proof of maple syrup, molassesy, chocolatey goodness. It is breakfast in a bottle in the best way possible. So details to come. We'll do a little hangout. If you're a patron, we'll do a little private hangout here at the end of tonight. And we'll go through some of that and talk about some other future releases coming up. All right. Exactly. What warehouse is that guy from? Says Nathan. Oh, BT's in the house. What's up, BT? Easy find in Michigan. Let me know who wants one. Says Wise Guy Stu. Wise Guy, hit me up. I'm gonna want a backup of that one. Just let me know. All right. This is from warehouse. Barrel number 2323632. 1-06. 1-06. Have you had that Jack pick with breakfast yet? Not yet, Dylan, but the next time I make pancakes, I'm going to probably pour that whiskey on top of it. Stop telling everyone about that JD. I'm praying it makes it to my tears. John Cloud. Magnus moved from DC to Michigan. Maybe they don't know what they have yet. Yeah, I mean, they did move. So, yeah, maybe they don't know. So, all right, guys, it is time. It is time for the blind of the night. That's not part of it, right? Nope. That's my Magnus. 8 whiskeys going head to head in my favorite old school whiskey, old school bourbons that I absolutely love. That's why I got that breakdancing chick, the ray gun on the thumbnail, which I thought was hilarious. Because she's old school. She's rolls around on the floor, old school. It's perfect. That shit was so ridiculous. All right, guys, let's go through the bottles that are in the blind tonight. All right, so first up, Mayor Pingree, 13-year, which might be my favorite tonight in the running. We'll see how it goes. A bottle I wish that would come back. Knob Creek 12-year cast strength. This released about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and we have not seen it since. As you can see, the limited release button right there on the front of the bottle. This is an old favorite of mine, Bell Mead Single Barrel Bourbon. This is out of New York, baby, and it's 12 years old. That's right, 12 years old in this bottle. I've been nursing this one, as you can see, for the better part of 3 years. Blount Brothers Old Fangled Nodder Bourbon, cast strength 12-year MGP goodness. These were all the rage a bunch of years ago when they came out. They were actually really good values as well. Next up in the blind, we have Michter's Barrel Strength. As much as I love this bottle, I'm fearing the low proof of this might hold it back, but we'll see how it does. The Elijah Craig barrel proof bottle that all the rage about it back in the day. This was batch B519. This is the batch that won, as you can see there, Whiskey of the Year. And then everyone went crazy for it, and then the legend grew from there. So the fact that I still had this bottle, I couldn't believe it, and I got half of a bottle of it. Also another legendary bottle, guys. We are going with the Smoke Wagon Desert Jewel. That's right. When this bottle came out, people were paying thousands to get their hands on this. Luckily, I did not pay thousands to get my hands on this bottle. I actually paid retail to get this. So thank you, Jesus. This was a great pickup, and one that I've been nursing, as you can see as well. Just amazing high-grade MGP here. And then one of my favorite Bartow Bourbon Company bottles of all time, batch number 3. It's a pretty legendary release that they did. Discovery Series number 3. There's the 3 there. This is the one that contained all that old MGP as well as some Kentucky. And it's just a fantastic blend. So those are the 8 bottles in the running tonight. Who do you got? Disco 2 through 4, ridiculous. That KC cast strength is nuts. My money's on the Pingree or the Knob, says the Whiskey Saint. ECB 519 is my first. She embarrassed her entire country. Yeah, my 8 hefty pours. Cheers. I won't finish them all, but I might make a blend here at the end. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Desert Jewel does fare, as well as all these. So this is the time tonight, guys, where you guys get to do a little Q&A session with me. I love doing this with you guys every Wednesday night. If you have any questions while I'm doing this this blind tasting, feel free to ask. I could try to answer any questions you have about whiskey, about life, about football coming up, about my Mets that are still in the wild card spot, whatever you guys want to talk about. As much as I love doing the news with you guys and everything else, I love just kind of chatting with everybody and, shooting the shit and talking whiskey and everything else that's going on. So, all right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. Dadgummit, batch 3 is the only disco I don't have, Jason. Tony Bag of Donuts. I'm sorry, man. You're missing a good one. What kicks do you have on tonight? Oh, you're going to make me put the whiskey down already. I have a pair of Travis Scott reverse mochas tonight. These are my Travis Scott reverse mochas with the red laces. Red is my favorite color, if you guys don't know that already. So these are the reverse mochas of Travis Scott with the reverse swoosh. And, yep. Those are my kicks tonight. Jay, what is your process while tasting? Asked Greg Eid. It's a good question. I think a lot of people ask me that, honestly, but I don't think I've ever gone through it in detail. Basically what I look for is you kind of have to ignore the first 2 or 3 pours just because your palate is... Now, I have had some whiskeys tonight, but basically the process is that I'm looking for that immediate punch of flavor on the front of my tongue with everything. If I get it or I don't get it, I kind of keep that in mind. And then those usually end up being my favorites. And then if they are, generally I will, kind of mark those off. But then sometimes finishes come into play. Basically, I look for a balanced experience that gives you the most full flavor with a long finish. If I could find that, then those will be the pours that stick out. But sometimes other things come along the way where you have something that's just super unique that will stand out among the rest. But is it good, or is it just unique compared to everything else? But generally, my first go through, I'm just trying to find the basic notes. And then second time through, I'm looking for the notes that actually stand out. Is it more complex than I'm thinking after going through the first time? Now that my palate has acclimated. And then we just go from there. Then we just start picking it apart. Jay's process: pivot at the elbow, make kissy face, enjoy whiskey. I like that. Jason, if you could choose, how can you afford to be a hype beast for both sneakers and whiskey? I wouldn't say I'm a hype beast. I mean, I know when you see Travis Scott, you think hype beast, but honestly, I just kind of go for like the colors I like. If that sounds weird, I'm definitely not like one to buy every single pair of whether it be Travis Scott's or other collabs. I kind of pick and choose what I like, what I don't like. If I bought every pair of sneakers I wanted, I definitely couldn't afford, the whiskey I always want to buy. So I really do got to pick and choose my spots. But yeah, I mean, aside from a couple pairs of Travis Scott's and maybe some of like the old Jordans, my collection isn't really very hype beastie. I wish I could afford every collab. I don't really like to. I might be the outlier here, but I do not really like Nike SB dunks. SB stands for skateboarding. So generally those skateboarding sneakers have probably some of the coolest collabs that are out there, and they're also some of the most expensive sneakers on the planet. But they have all this extra padding inside of it. And I feel like every time I try one of those things on, it's a very, very stiff sneaker. I'm sure I have to break it in, but I have like those wide Italian, great, winemaking feet. And it is so uncomfortable for me to wear one of those SB dunks. So as much as I would have liked to got like the Futura this year and some of the other ones that people go crazy for, I'm just not buying them. Anytime I see a cool like SB dunk collab, I just skip it because it's just not going to be comfortable. Because I like to wear my sneakers. I don't just like keep them on display. Do Falcons fans want Kirk to get injured so Penix becomes a starter? For me as a Falcons fan, I want him to stay healthy. I think it'll be good for Penix to learn behind him for a year. We'll see what happens after that. But God forbid Cousins goes down again. I mean, we do have Penix, so we'll see what happens. KC14 just won our poker game flight. KC14. Knob Creek 14? Like a single barrel, Duro? What are you talking about, KC4? KC, am I missing a brand? KC14. I immediately go to Knob Creek. Knob Creek, what am I missing? Is there another KC I'm forgetting about? Let's see. Are you picking up the 2XO sneakerhead blend? Absolutely. Hey, Jason, what are your thoughts on the NFL banning the hip drop tackle? I see flag football in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, not really a big fan of it. I know they're trying to protect players, but it's getting a little crazy. Now players are starting to wear those like condom covers on top of their helmets. I mean, I get it's a safety issue. These guys are getting hit at like 90 miles an hour from freak athletes. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, okay, you hate it. You hate that there's like, the contact is going away a little bit more and more and more, but at the same time, it sucks when you have like either a fantasy team or your team is doing really well and somebody drop hip tackles somebody, then they're injured and out for like 6 weeks. So you have to kind of take the good with the bad. Jason, would love to hear your thought on letting bourbon get airtime. Some big masters say it's a myth, but I swear airtime make a huge difference. I'm a huge proponent of airtime, especially with finished whiskeys. Whiskeys that are either toasted, finished in a finishing cask, double oaked, whatever you want. You could sell me a little bit that a standard bourbon with nothing done to it maybe doesn't need as much airtime. I think the higher the proof and the higher the age, I think airtime does help. But finished whiskeys, to me, definitely need airtime because I think they change immensely. Best value LE so far this year. Arguably last year was C923 ECBP. Best value LE. LE, though. Oh, God. Number one's already ridiculous. This is going to suck. Oh, my gosh. Man, talk about a again like that maple pecan. No, cinnamon heavy. Wow. I want Kirk to cook. Yeah, me too. I'm with you. That's a good question. Best value LE so far this year, arguably last year. I mean, if you're just talking about an LE that came out that was actually a really good value, I'm trying to think of like my favorite whiskeys this year so far. I mean, the Elijah Craig barrel proofs are always good LEs, but I don't really think the ones that came out here were that special. At least the first two, I think they were pretty good, not great, solid ECBPs this year so far. I'm hoping that the C batch is a banger. I mean, it's hard to look past like Jack Daniel's 12. If you could find it at retail, the Maker's Mark Heart Release, the Heart Release 2024. It's a $70 bottle. That's supposedly an LE. That's a great price, great value for that one for sure. Yeah, that's what I can think of off the top of my head. That's great. Thanks, man. Big fan of very old KC. Master Drum, do you play fantasy football? If so, have you drafted yet? My draft is a week from Sunday, so my draft is coming up. Jason, you going to continue with What's on the Shelf Wednesday? Seems to have been a while since you've seen a new one. Yeah, those will start back up next week. I was off for like 3 weeks. I just couldn't get any content in. But now that I'm back doing regular content, I have kind of a lineup of bottles for What's on the Shelf Wednesday that are going to be starting next week. So those are coming back. I'm a Hoka guy, and I'm almost as old as the Hawk. Hoka's good shit. You a golfer? The Jordan Lows are insane. Yeah, I am a golfer. I suck, but I do enjoy playing a good round of golf. I just finally got my my drive a little bit on point. I was slicing. I'm a lefty, so it's a little bit tough for me as I, get out on the course. But at the same time, my slice, I feel like I'm getting back under control. I'm really good with my irons. Decent putter, not great putter. It's really my driver that I've had the most trouble with the last couple of years. What to use to keep your sneakers clean? Lysol wipes. Does Nike make Michael Scott's? They should. They should make Michael Scott's. Jason's feet equals Fred Flintstone feet. That's so spot on. It's so spot on. Oh, yes, a knob single barrel. That's cool, man. Those things were so good. Penix will screw his shoulder up again, sitting on the... So this is the one thing that worries me about Penix, is that he's not very mobile. Everything he does is in the pocket, laser beam arm, great passer, but you kind of have to be a little bit mobile in the NFL these days, and he's just not very mobile. So I get a little bit scared that he'll be a sitting duck most of the time unless he gets out and he runs a bit. Not really sure how that'll bode for him, but I feel like when the time does come for him to come in, the Atlanta Falcons better have a ridiculous offensive line in front of them. Question. Earlier this year, you mentioned hunting a specific Der Gaelic bottle. I recall being a treat number 2. Are you looking for in the Wood series, Kalbeg? Yes, it was the Kalbeg Wood tree number 2. The newest release from the Der Gaelic. Those are the ones I was looking for. Yikes. Sorry, guys. That was loud. All right, 2. Man, 2 is really sweet. A little bit lighter, though, than 1. I think 1, just going off of the first 2 sips, 1 definitely is a bolder profile. But 2 has more. 2 has a little bit more of a buttery type aspect to it, which I dig. Oh, man. 2 is very spice-driven, which I love. Probably a better finish on 2 than 1. Holy shit. This is going to be awesome. Okay. I heard your coach was hiding Penix to avoid controversy. Yeah, they're sitting him down for the last 2 games. I mean, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what happens with the backup. Just Kirk Cousins, just freaking please play well, and I just hope that they use all Atlanta's weapons to their ability, and we'll see what happens. They got Simmons. We have 2 all-pro safeties in the freaking secondary. We got Matthew Judon, he's a little bit of an older player, but he's a great pass rusher. It's exactly what Atlanta needs. You couple that with some of the young guys they have, some of the veterans, Grady Jarrett coming back. They could be a sneaky good defense, but we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. It's really hard to pick against the Chiefs winning it all again. Until someone takes the Chiefs out, I don't see how you can you know, as annoying as they are and as good as they are, I don't see how you could pick against them yet until someone knocks them off. So, best value, Elliott Retail, JD, yeah, JD12. Jason, I got one of your hats and I'm thrilled with was signed. Those Richardson 112s fit so well. Everyone should buy one. Oh, thanks, Brent. Appreciate that, man. Glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, I sign all my hats. Well, that's the thing, though. Green River Foolproof would be up there, but it's not in LE. Green River is not in LE. It's the first year it's released, but it's going to be an ongoing release. It's not a limited edition, but if it was, Green River would easily be the best value this year. So, best LE so far, Russell's 15. Yeah, I mean, Russell's 15, you know, I hate to be a homer, but that's probably my top of the year so far. All right, let's go to number 3 here. Yeah, Cousins has been a great starter. He just hasn't been able to get over the hump when it comes to playoffs. Atlanta hurt me bad with that Super Bowl loss. The Patriots with that comeback for Brady. Damn, I hate Brady from a Dolphins fan. Yeah, I mean, if you think that killed you, I'm a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, and that murdered me for. I didn't get over it. I don't think I'm still over it. I still see the 28-3. It kills me, man. It sucks. The way that they handled the end of that game was an absolute joke. Oh, this is actually a lot lighter compared to 1 and 2 here. A little bit more fruit forward on this one. Yeah, this is very, very, very heavy vanilla. This is vanilla extract to a T. Yeah, Sparty on bourbon, you know, just digging the knife in deeper, 28-3. As a Vikings fan, enjoy having Cousins disappoint you, says Diego Samuels. You never know, man. You just never know with the NFL. Sometimes a change of scenery does a body good. I mean, you never know. Look at Jared Goff. He was written off in LA. He goes to Detroit, almost gets to a Super Bowl. I mean, you never know. Yeah, this is probably the sweetest of the 3 I've tried so far. Heavy vanillas, a little bit of spice. Almost like a milk chocolate note there, too, on the very end. That one's good. All right, I still think 1 and 2 I like more than 3, though. All right, number 4. We got Jeffrey Wack in the house. What's up, Wack Attack? Yeah, that's one of my Sport 911s. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I literally just picked golf in my draft. Oh, my God, what is all this MGP old school goodness? Yeah, Jeffrey Wack, we're doing an old school. I mean, most of it's actually MGP, which should tell you something. But all right, so this one's probably the funkiest in the glass. This one's giving me like that wet cardboard note on the nose, which is, I did not think any of these had that. Cousins seemed to get the deer in headlights syndrome during the playoffs, or close to getting to the playoffs. That's the thing. I'm hoping that if he gets nervous, just give it to Bijan. Let's see what happens. Let Bijan roll this year. Oh, I do not get it on the palate. The palate's more of it. Wow, so much dark fruit on the palate on this one. Cherry cola. Cherry cola. Allspice. Man. The nose is it's so crazy when a whiskey does that. Like, if you gave this to me off the nose, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not drinking that. But man, the palate is amazing. I'll have to keep going through that to see how it evolves here. How about those Bears, Mash and Drum? Yeah, Jay, man, I know you're excited. You know, all the Bears fans. The Bears are the it team right now. Caleb Williams. They're on Hard Knocks. I mean, it's hard not to be excited. Their defense is ridiculous. So if they could put it together early with Caleb Williams at the QB position with that defense, they're going to be dangerous. Pitts will be a machine this year. Cousins had that TB. Yeah, I hope so, man. I really hope that that he finally fulfills his potential here. All right. This might be the best nose out of the 5 so far. The nose on this is incredible. Caleb Zesty Williams might be good. Dude, I just learned what that zesty word meant like last week. Seriously. Bears versus Chiefs, says Tony Bag of Donuts. I don't know about that. There's a lot of good teams in the NFC, so we'll see what happens. Just hopped on. Holy moly, that a lot of whiskey. Please tell me you are not working tomorrow. I am working tomorrow, but I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. And when Green Bay smokes Chicago at the Master Drum, you'll be eating your words. All right, tell me in Green Bay, as much as I love Jordan Love, who the fuck is he throwing the ball to? You guys have absolutely no wide receivers. None. Nobody to throw to. Well, no, you have that one wide receiver. I can't think of his name, but I don't see your offense being that scary. Your defense is going to keep you in games, but your offense scares me for Green Bay. I don't mind Green Bay. I think Green Bay is always a great team. I love Jordan Love, but that offense scares me. They just don't have a lot of great offensive players right now. Ooh, that one's actually a little smoky. Watson, Reed, Hicks. And yet Jordan Love had great stats with no receivers. It's very true. He came on kind of the latter half of the season. I get it. But, I mean, is it good enough to take down the top teams in the NFC? I don't know. We'll see. Love got stomped by a third-string defense. Dubs good, Reed and Watson okay. Yeah, we'll see, man. It'll be interesting to see how that whole division shakes out. Lions are clearly the favorite in that division, but we'll see if Chicago could give them a run for the money. We'll see if Green Bay could hang in there as well. Vikings, I don't think it's going to be – I think it's going to be a tough year for the Vikings, but we'll see how it goes. You just never know in football. All right, let's go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I didn't take any notes on 5. It's kind of running through here. Oh, wow. Yeah, I kind of went through 5 a little bit too quickly. 5 is very just balanced. It's in a really delicious balanced bourbon. That actually might have the best texture out of the ones so far. Really rich on the palate. I'm digging that one. All right, number 6. Oh, the nose on number 6 is ridiculous. This is that heavy char, old school MGP. At least I think it is. Cherry cola, gingerbread, good spice. Oh, man. I don't even think Dallas will choke, Dave Renstrom. I don't see – if they don't sign CeeDee Lamb, Dallas isn't even going to be in the conversation most of the year. Oh, holy shit. Number 6 is the bee's knees right there. That's, oh my God, so good. That is barrel char. That is age. That is rich. It is pure, like dark brown sugar, caramel. Oh my gosh. Scratch that. Number 6 has the best texture. 5 had it, but 6 took it. 6 is like, hold my beer. Taste me right now. Taste me right now. That doesn't sound right. Holy shit. 6 might be the leader in the clubhouse right now. I haven't had a flavor punch in maybe 1 and 2. 1, 2, and 6. Those are kind of my top 3 right now. But 6 is pretty ridiculous. Damn. Could 6 be? Oh, I wonder if 6 is the Brown Brothers. I'm just getting a lot of really good old school MGP in this glass. I'm digging it. Jason, what happened to Smoke Wagon from the darling of whiskey to mid almost overnight? WD Hair, I just think that the market kind of caught up to them. I don't think it's a matter of them having bad whiskey by any means or bad bourbon. I just think that everybody started coming out with different whiskeys, doing different stuff with MGP, whether it be recharring, grabbing different mash bills. I don't know. It just, for a long time, I think that Smoke Wagon had so much great stock that nobody else had, but everybody kind of caught up. And while Smoke Wagon was special for a good amount of time, and people wanted those blends that were unique, that were getting blended, I just think that other blenders came into the fold using MGP as well, that even though Smoke Wagon is good, there was other stuff out there to kind of challenge it. And I don't know. I just think I'm not going to say it's not like Smoke Wagon went to a bad whiskey. They're still really solid bourbons. It's just that I think the market caught up to them. It's really all it is. More selections, more variety, different things that people are doing with MGP. It's just one of those things where you focus on one thing, you want to get them all, and then all of a sudden, like it happened with, look at Old Scout. Old Scout and those old school MGP single barrels were so popular for a while, and then all of a sudden they just kind of went away. Same thing with the Belle Meade. Same thing about the Belle Meade here. All those are really popular, and then kind of people moved on from them, and then they went to Smoke Wagon, and then Smoke Wagon was like kind of the big thing, and now people have moved on from Smoke Wagon, and now they're searching for a National Barrel Company. They're looking for Backbone. They're looking for other people that are doing interesting things with MGP. I do think that Smoke Wagon has a specific place in the market that is both a reminder of how good their stuff was, but unfortunately, some of the special releases that they have done just really haven't hit, and that's really kind of the issue I think with Smoke Wagon. All right, so 6 is a banger. Let's go to number 7. Tom Hopper, seems like with whiskey, every brand is about $20 away from being irrelevant. Price is so important to popularity. I agree. In my opinion, I don't know if I think I've said this, but my opinion is distillers should stop with all the massive amount of LEs. Now, this doesn't bode for every single distiller. Like Four Roses is out of this conversation. They literally release 1 LE a year. So Four Roses is kind of aside from this conversation. Buffalo Trace, they do some different releases each and every year, but everybody knows, you're pretty much, not going to get that either. And just because I haven't seen it in a while, I'm going to play it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Buffalo Trace, you're never going to get it. So they might be kind of out of the conversation as well. But when it comes to all these LEs, there's just too many that are hitting at the same time. I think Jim Beam is actually a really good example of this. Jim Beam, as much as I love the age-stated 16-year, 17-year, Knob Creek 18, Knob Creek 12, all these great age-stated products, Old Overhaul 10-year, it's great what they're doing, but there's so many of them that it's hard to stand out. I think what brands should be doing is focusing on maybe 2 to 3 LEs a year, do something, really unique, not just continue to keep coming out with LE after LE after LE each and every year. It waters down the market. It makes some of the other stuff that you're putting out completely irrelevant, because that's all people want to chase now. They want to chase the LEs. So stop putting out so many. Condense it to 1 or 2 a year. Don't make it so, don't bring up this frenzy each and every year, and then build your portfolio around a connection to your consumers. Build your portfolio up around the things that people want, connect with them on a deeper level, not just an LE level. Because what happens is you get LEs, they just keep coming out at a high price point. You know, I hate to say that Wild Turkey is doing this right now. As much as I love Wild Turkey, it's like one LE after another, and the price keeps going up and up and up and up. And I can't stand it. Is it most of the time really good whiskey? Yes, but it's just too much. I'd rather to see Wild Turkey connect with their audience on a deeper level if they can. Just do something more personal around some of the products that are coming out. I think those models and the people that tend to do that will be set up for success as we go down the road. Less LEs and stop with the fucking finishes. Enough is enough. Just give us really great aged bourbon that's either blended well or just put together well. And just like all the finishes are just hiding shit whiskey most of the time. Some of it, like the Joseph Magnus, is enhancing what the whiskey already has. But all these, these finishes that are kind of a Johnny come lately, like an Amburana or a Toasted or anything else. It just, now with the market the way it is, where it was seen as innovative before, now it's coming off as gimmicky. So the whiskey world is kind of at a weird crossroads, I think, or it's coming up on a crossroads. So I think that's where it should go. I don't know. But like anything else, there is so much great whiskey on the shelf, so much just really great bourbon. There's no need to chase all the LEs all the time. That's why I think they just need to kind of calm down with the LEs a little bit. So yeah, that's how Riot starts, Jason. I'm just saying. At face value, MSRP pick, 1-star pick between Barrel Rye, Kings County, and Jack Daniels. Drink a Chattanooga single barrel. Pick one. Barrel Rye, Kings County, or Jack Daniels. Oh, man. Caleb, that's tough because some of those Kings Counties are freaking stellar. But if I can't try it before I buy it, it would be the Jack Daniels all day. Yep. Bardstown and Green River they're a legit future blueprint. What they're doing right now is they're putting out great stuff, high quality whiskey at great values that are approachable, that are, eventually getting to the market, that are easy to get. And, it's just something easily is giving us like a high wheat mash bill, just giving us something a little bit different that's affordable and that you could find. That's where it should go. If you look now, we have great whiskey. Yeah, so yeah, best round 2024 right there. 100% agree. Great simple wisdom. I agree. I'll just stick with agreed. Make Stag Jr. great again. Jack Daniel's Square I'll never disappoint. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, it's not difficult for me. I just think that every distillery wants to come out with the next big thing, and we've had the next big thing for years. And what you're doing is you're watering down the market with a lot of mediocre bourbon with just finishes on it. Dial it back to 1 or 2 releases a year that are limited editions. Rein it in. Focus on your core lineup and connect with your audience. Connect with your drinkers. I keep saying it. We're seeing it with a lot of different smaller market brands that are out there. They're finding ways to connect with their audience, connect with their drinkers in order to give you a better experience. Because at that point, it becomes about the story and it becomes about the buyer, the consumer, the story behind your whiskey, and not just about, hey, we threw something in a Tokai cask or an Amburana cask and we want you to pay $100 for it. There's certain things that certain brands should be doing to build their camaraderie and their connection with their audience. I think that's what whiskey has lost in the last 3 to 4 years. And I mean, we've had an unbelievably great whiskey, but there's a crossroads here, like I've been saying, where there's just too much out there, too many LEs, and everyone is chasing certain bottles for the wrong reasons. So, rant over. All right, let's get back into this here. Oh, 7 is ridiculously good, too. Make Amburana great again? Jose Sanchez, you're fired. Nope. Amburana was never great. It was never great. Let alone we have to make it great again. Please. Seven reminds me of 6. It's just not as bold. This is going to be a nightmare to kind of discern between these. It's like 6, but just not as bold. Jason soapbox. Yeah, I'm on the soapbox right now. I'm just saying, like, this is what I want. This is like what I see in the whiskey world. Like, just stop with all the fucking gimmicky finishes. Just give me a really great, like, 9 to 12 year bourbon that is deep, it's rich, it's dark. Just, obviously, if you have established brands based on finishes, do your thing. Like a cigar blend, like a Angel's Envy, stuff that's happening out there like that. I get it. You have established brands that have been around for quite a long time. Michter's Toasted is another great example. But at some point, man, stop giving us 4-year whiskey thrown into a cognac cask. Give us a good 7 to 8 year product with no bullshit that I could just sit down and enjoy at a good price that's available. That's all we want. I know that's not great business for everybody because, everybody has to come out with the high price LE, to get everybody in a frenzy. The flippers go crazy. They gobble up all the bottles. They flip them. It's crazy, man. Free Amburana. Lock it up. Okay. Last one here, guys. Oh, wow. Gosh, 8 is good. 8 is a candy shop in a glass. It is so super sweet, spicy deliciousness. Unfortunately, finished whiskey, much like Wild Turkey Honey, has a big market with casual whiskey drinkers. Yeah, Dylan, I totally get it. But I like that for like those established brands. My problem is there's just so much finished crap out on the market where people are just taking shitty whiskey, throwing it in a finishing cask, watering it down to 90 proof, and then selling it for $100. That's the stuff that I can't stand. I blame the bourbon junkies for the Amburana craze. They have a lot of Amburana stuff. Give us 4-year cognac thrown in a whiskey cask. That actually sounds pretty good. ECBP is your winner. Mark it down, says Tommy. Dude, 8 is fantastic. All right. Let's start winding this down here. I'm actually gonna go back through it reverse order. Start kind of I'll try to not rant anymore and get into the into rating these. But it's that time of the night, guys. We're in kind of the last 8 to 10, maybe 15 minutes here. You know what time it is every Wednesday night here on the Mash and Drum. It is top 5 time. Put in your top 5 requests in the chat right now, and we'll pick one, and I'll give you my top 5 of whatever beautiful subject you want me to give my top 5 on. Here we go. Top 5 wrestlers. I've done that. Top 5 concerts. That's a good one. Top 5 Beyonce songs. Oh, Darren Clary. Oh my God, that's so funny. Top 5 vintage bottle styles. I kind of like that. Top 5 wide receivers of all time. Top 5 tires. I don't know enough about tires. Top 5 video games. I feel like we've done that. Top 5 ice cream flavors. Top 5 frontmen of all time. That's kind of cool. Top 5 comedy podcasts. I don't think I listen to enough. I listen to really all whiskey podcasts. So I don't even know if I can even give you top 5 comedy podcasts. Top 5 bottles featuring horsies. That's easy. All the Blantons. Top 5 cake flavors. Top 5 Falcon losses. Sparring on bourbon. I'm about to kick your ass out. Oh, shit. All my single ladies. Dream cars. Top 5 Amburana finished bourbons. Wow. Top 5 Amburana whiskeys. Now you guys are just being assholes. That's not happening. Top 5 Panthers wins? Not many, Ben. Not many. Top 5 Ohio cities. Top 5 whiskey corks. Ooh, that's a good one. Least favorite sports jersey. That's easy. The fucking Atlanta Braves. Freaking hate the Atlanta Braves. Top 5 hoagies. Oh, maybe we'll do sandwiches. Top 5 sandwiches. Have we done that yet? Have we done top 5 sandwiches? Top 5 laser codes. Top 5 laser codes. Yeah, bullshit. Okay. Top 5 Braves wins. All right, Darren Clary, you're about to get your ass kicked out too. Top 5 Ray Gun dance moves. Yes, when Ray Gun was bending on the floor like a toddler. Top 5 Ryan Reynolds movies. Okay. Top 5 YouTubers. Nope. Top 5 horror movies. Top 5 winning Ohio sports teams. I haven't been in Ohio long enough. Let's do top 5 sandwiches. I like that one. Top 5 sandwiches. Let me think, though, for a little bit as I go through this. Eight is a top pick for me. 8's going to be up there. 7. Oh, top 5 comic books. I was into comic books growing up. I did like some comics. Guys, I'm a Renaissance man. I was into a little bit of everything. I think we got to do maybe next week we'll do like top 5 toys growing up. My top 5 toys that I had. Top 5 genders? What? You guys are such dicks. Oh, shit. Top 5 genders. Okay. I'm just going to pass that right on by. Oh, my God. You guys are going to kill me tonight. I'm trying to do a real tasting here. You guys are killing me. All right. I think I like 8/7. Holy shit. That got me. All right. Top 5 break dancers. Ray Gun is definitely number 1. The problem with top 5 sandwiches is who beats Superman, the Philly cheesesteak. Dude, 6 is ridiculous. 6, I am marking. 6, everybody is trying to beat 6 right now. We'll see what 6 is. 5. You know what? I think I've done top 5 sandwiches already. So I think the one below it, top 5 fast food restaurants. I think that one is one we should talk about because I have a feeling there's going to be some very there's going to be a lot of passionate fans of certain restaurants out there tonight. Five just doesn't have the chutzpah to take on 6. And I don't think it takes on 7 and 8 either. I like 7 and 8 over 5. So right now, 5 is behind. Yeah. Yeah, 5's not doing it. When I first tried 5, I actually really liked this bourbon a lot, but yeah, it's not doing it for me. Okay. What? Lobster roll, because you don't know how to spell roll. And 5, probably a Primanti Brothers Pittsburgh Sammy. I've had a Primanti Brothers sandwich. I was lucky enough to get the Primanti Brothers sandwich. While I did like it, I didn't think it was I don't think it was good enough to make my top 5. So we'll go through my top 5 sandwiches real quick. Let's just do sandwiches. All right, number 5. Number 5 sandwich. And we're not talking like peanut butter and jelly because those are great sandwiches. We're talking about like big, hearty, meaty sandwiches and heroes. All right, that's where we're going. Number 5. I'm going to give it to the Cuban. I love a freaking Cuban sandwich. The roasted pork, the cheese, the bread. I love a Cuban sandwich. Cuban sandwich, the pickles. Oh my gosh, the more pickles, the better for me on a Cuban. I'm going Cuban, number 5. Number 4. I'm going Reuben. And I'm not talking, actually, no. You know what? Reuben might make it up in the list. 4, I'll give Philly cheesesteak. 4, I'll give Philly cheesesteak because it's freaking delicious. I am a cheese whiz guy. I like the cheese whiz on my Philly cheesesteak with peppers and onions. That's how I like to roll with it. That's where I like to go with it. Number 3, I'll go Italian beef, Chicago style sandwich, Italian beef. Number 3. Number 2 is tough. Is this a deja vu, Top Jimmy? Did I go through this already? Top 2, I'm gonna go. We'll do my favorite fast food restaurants here too. But number 2, I'm gonna go with my favorite sandwich. I don't know if this is really a named sandwich, but it's basically a sandwich that I love to eat. I could eat this sandwich the rest of my life, aside from number 1, and that is an Italian bread semolina sandwich with mozzarella, roasted peppers, and prosciutto. And some and a little provolone. She likes sharp provolone. You give that to me on a hero. I don't even know if it has a name for it, but that is my top. That is a second favorite sandwich. And number 1 sandwich of all time for me is a Katz's Deli pastrami corned beef rye hybrid Reuben with a cream soda. That's my number 1 from New York. Nothing is ever going to beat that sandwich for me. Katz's Deli, pastrami, and corned beef on the same damn sandwich, about this thick with all the cheese. Oh my God, that is my favorite sandwich of all time. So there you go. The Moist Maker. Yeah, let's call the number 2 the Gabagool. All right, let me finish these real quick, and then we'll get into my top 5 restaurant fast food places, because this one's probably going to be controversial here. So, all right. Oh wait, I don't think I went to number 4 yet. Number 4 is funky. What is number 4? Every time I go back to it, it's funky. I don't think 4 is enough to kind of take out. I think I like 4 over 5, but the funkiness, I don't think is going to make it. Is going to let it go very far. All right, let's go to 3. Okay, I'm pretending that was no seafood list. Yeah, as far as like a seafood sandwich, man, I only really have 2 I could talk to. That's the lobster roll. 3. Lobster roll, crab roll, and this crazy sandwich I had in Seattle when I was there. It was a Dungeness crab. Was it like a crab melt? I forgot what they called it. It was Dungeness crab that was soaked in like a cheese and then on toasted bread. It was fucking delicious with pickles on it. It was incredible. I don't know what that sandwich is called, but I would put that at least my top 3. But yeah, lobster roll, as far as seafood sandwiches, it's hard to beat a lobster roll. Also kind of like a shrimp po' boy, the fried shrimp on it. Oh, look at me coming up with seafood sandwiches. Look at that. Yeah, po' boy. There you go, Wigmaster. Nailed it. Po' boy. I think it was a Krabby Patty, Stuart. Might have been. I actually just fucking had a Krabby Patty in Seattle when I was there. Yeah, 2 is good. 1 is the shit as well. All right. So 6, 1, 3, 6, 1, 3, and 8, I think, are my tops. So I'm gonna put 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna put 5 here on the back end. So 5 will take 8th. Not really sure what 8 is, but that, or 5, I should say. I did not dig that at all. 8, I'm going to put right behind it because it was just too flat. Seven. Yeah, 7 I'll put there too. Kind of in that order. All right. Holy shit. 1 is really, really good. Man, 1, 3, and 6 are the tops. Yeah, these 3 right here. I'm going to slide these over here. Okay, let me kind of leave this here, and we'll start going through, and I just have to really rank these top ones. Yeah, I like this one over this one. Top 3. Holy shit. This one is ridiculous. I don't see anyone taking this one out. It's between 1 and 6. 1 and 6 are absolute bangers. It's close, but I might give 6 the nod here. 6 has everything. Oh my gosh. All right. That's my order. All right. Let's do the reveal. Let's find out who wins this incredible blind. Smoked bologna for the redneck. I really crave Filet-O-Fish when I'm drunk. Yeah, Filet-O-Fish. Yeah, my mother used to freaking eat those all the time. I never understood it. Never understood it. All right, last place in the holiday glass. That goes to... Holy shit. Last place goes to... Oh, that camera shut off. Sorry, guys. I guess the battery ran out. Smoke Wagon Desert Jewel. Smoke Wagon Desert Jewel got last place for me in this blind. As I said, it was very balanced, but it didn't have the bite and the finish that I liked. So there you go. Desert Jewel gets last. Let's go to the next to last is letter H. Letter H goes to... I actually thought this would do a lot better. The Knob Creek Cast Strength 12. Knob Creek Cast Strength 12, which I still think is a phenomenal release, and I really do hope it comes back. I wouldn't have put it in this blind if I didn't love that freaking bottle. So there you go. Wow, that means the Michter's barrel proof did better than I thought it would. Let's go to letter F. Letter F belongs to the Bellmead 12-year barrel, single barrel out of New York, baby. Talk about Katz's Deli. Bellmead gets gets 6th place here in this blind tasting. We're getting some interesting results, but some of the favorites I think are starting to... There's a reason why some of these bottles were picked. All right, let's go to 1, 2, 3, 5th place. This one will be interesting. Letter B. This goes to... No shit. Where is it? Oh, right here. The Bardstown Discovery Series number 3. Bardstown Discovery Series number 3 gets 5th place. So the top 4, I'm gonna kind of move these here. The top 4 are bangers. Oh my gosh. That's the Pingree. Let's move the Michters to the forefront here. Here's your top 4, guys. That's your top 4. Blount Brothers, Elijah Craig. The Elijah Craig B519 coming in. Somebody said in here the B519 is going to do a lot better than we thought, and it's holding true. It's a top 4 whiskey right now. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4 goes to... Number 4 goes to the Michter's Barrel Proof. So the Michter's Barrel Proof gets 4th place. Really, really interesting. I don't know, man. This is... Man, let me taste this again. It's got so much flavor to it, even at that lower proof. That's crazy. All right, let's go to number 3. Number 3 is, wow, Elijah Craig, B519, getting 3rd place in this crazy freaking blind. Are you shitting me? I mean, it's surprising, but it's not surprising. Thank you so much, Randall Erickson. I think you need a sandwich after this tasting. Dude, if I could get a Reuben from New York right now, one of those freaking salami, not salami. Oh my God, what am I thinking? Pastrami, corned beef, Katz's Deli, Reubens right now with a can of cream soda. I would eat the shit out of that. But look at that. Elijah Craig B519 coming through. I think the buttery nature of that one is what kind of put it over the top. So, top 2, Blount Brothers, Mayor Pingree. Who won? Mayor Pingree or Blount Brothers? Let's see here. D and E. E got number 1. E goes to... Shit. Mayor Pingree, 13 for the win. This is just ridiculous bourbon. Unbelievable. I honestly thought one of these other bourbons would maybe snake the Mayor Pingree, but it did not. Mayor Pingree was like, you know what? I'm amazing, and now you know it for sure. This is probably one of the best bottles I own in my collection. Still to this day, out of all the bottles I have, this Mayor Pingree 13 year is absolutely a stunner, and it's MGP. And that goes for the Blount Brothers. The Blount Brothers as well. This 12-year cast strength. I mean, what was I saying last week? Like, people want to disparage sourced whiskey. Just shut the hell up. Just enjoy the whiskey. It's good. MGP makes really, really good bourbon. So just shut up and enjoy it. Stop looking at, it's not from Kentucky. It's not, they don't distill it on their own. It is being distilled. It's being distilled like any other whiskey is. It's just being put in another bottle, but it's still really good whiskey. So who cares? Do you guys realize that sourced whiskey was the way whiskey was being sold back in like the early 1900s? They were buying barrels from different distillers, putting them in a store, and just filling bottles with that shit. There wasn't a distillery. There wasn't a specific brand. They were just buying barrels and filling it. Sourced whiskey is as old as time. So just shut up about it. Just drink good whiskey. Find the good whiskey and drink the good whiskey. There you go. That's the moral of tonight's story. And also, don't believe Beyonce's publicist. All right. Real quick before we get out of town here. Top 5 fast food chains. Here we go. Number 5 is now, certain chains are in other, certain areas, but I got to go with what I grew up with. All right. So this is what I'm going to go through. Whiskey knows you just suck tonight. I just suck tonight. What are you, crazy? These are the 2 best bourbons ever. Jason Rant, part 2, in and out. I'll just send you a Cuban for that Pingree, says Travis Robeson. Robeson, if you send me a Cuban, I'll send you about 4 ounces of that if you want. We'll do that shit. Okay, number 5. I grew up at this fast food place growing up, and that was Nathan's Hot Dogs. I love Nathan's growing up. Nathan's had video games. They had good hot dogs, and I love Nathan's. They were not only a fast food place, but they were also kind of a restaurant as well. You could kind of do either or. But Nathan's is kind of top 5 for me. Number 4, I'd probably go with if you say McDonald's, I'm out. Yeah, Nathan's fries is the shit, man. Sorry, my phone's going off, guys. What is that? What are they saying? All right. Number 4 for me, I think, I don't know, could be controversial, but I actually really do love this place, and I'm going to say Chick-fil-A. I really like Chick-fil-A. Is not my number 4. I'll go number 4. You know what? Number 3, I'd probably make Chick-fil-A. Number 4, I'm going to give to Wendy's. I do like Wendy's a lot. I think I love their spicy chicken nuggets. I think their burgers are good quality. I'll probably give 4 to Wendy's. I'll give 3 to Chick-fil-A. Number two, I'm going to give to. So I haven't had Culver's yet. I know a lot of people talk about Culver's. I have not had Culver's yet. I know I got to get Culver's. I got to get Culver's on there. I haven't had Culver's yet. This one is going to sound a little bit crazy, but I grew up with it, and I do love it for whatever stupid reason. But number 2 is going to be Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm sorry. But, dude, when you grow up with a certain thing, Kentucky Fried Chicken for me growing up just brings back so many memories. Listen, I grew up Italian, obviously. Had a lot of Italian food. And maybe that's why I loved KFC so much, because it was just something different. And the mashed potatoes and the bucket of chicken. It was like a holiday when KFC came to the door. KFC, man. Number 2, KFC. And number 1, I hate to go chicken again, but I just had this when I moved to Ohio, and that's Cane's. Cane's chicken. All they do is fucking chicken tendies. Chicken strip, chicken tenders. That's all they do with delicious fries and that cane sauce. That is my number 1 right now. Like me and my girlfriend Kim, when we're like, oh, what do we want to eat? What do we want to get? It's like Cane's immediately. We never think McDonald's. We never think Popeyes. We never think anything. We're just like, let's go to Cane's. Raising Cane's to me is the shit. It's high quality chicken. It's hot fries. It's that dipping sauce that's like, it's almost like the McDonald's Big Mac sauce, but like 10 times better. It's got savoriness to it. It's spicy. Cane's is the shit. Arby's. Oh, Zaxby's. That's another one I need to try, Nick. Zaxby's and Culver's. You know what? Zaxby's is in Kentucky. The next time I go to Kentucky, just for you, Nick, I will try Zaxby's. I promise. Okay? So, with that, we're going to call it a night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Got some great guests lined up here in the next few weeks, hopefully. We'll kind of get into that, once they are locked in, including one of my unicorn guests that I've been trying to get on the channel for a very long time. It's going to be pretty amazing. So 2 guests coming up. We'll see when that happens, but I'll see you guys right here next week at the same time, I should say, 9 p.m. Right here on the Master Drum. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the subscribe. Thanks for the like. Thanks for everything else, guys. Cheers, and I'll see you next time right here on the Master Drum on Wednesday. Cheers, guys. Love you all.